What's up, y'all? I told you yesterday that I was enjoying the last bit of having a non stressful life for, temporarily. I mean, life is stressful in general, but wow, my life is. I know that when I am home, that I'm always going to be pulled in 1,000 different directions. So I was like, I want to just enjoy my last, excuse me, my last day of freedom as much as I can because it's gonna just be a total S cam, and I have about an hour drive before I get to my next client. So this is not gonna take an hour, but this is what I wanted to say about MJ. Is MJ my favorite Big Brother player of all time? Absolutely not. Would she make a top 10, 20, 50, 75 list even for me? No, she wouldn't. I don't value her game all that much. But there's a reason why I have titled this video in this specific way, which I'll tell you in a second. Let's see. I'm getting back to y'all. I'm getting back to y'all. Yep. Okay. Sorry for the delay. So, okay, this is what I wanted to say about MJ. I'm sorry for the delay for anyone who's especially watching this on the replay. I'm just multitasking like usual. But this is what I got to say about MJ. She's a recruit, as far as I know. She came in the game. She didn't know much about the game. She's pretty much in the same spot, game knowledge wise, as Cam, where after they recruited her, they probably refreshed her on a couple of seasons, so she has like a vague, small idea of what the show is like, but she doesn't know a lot about the show. So she came in there and was and big athletic threat, athlete, tall, bigger than all the rest of the girls in the house. That's one thing. Two, there's a guy in there that she has, I won't call it a showmance, but a guy that she liked from the beginning, that they were talking about a showmance. He was out so early that it didn't become one, but we all know that showmances don't usually fare well. Yes, we have a couple of exceptions, but for the most part, and especially in recent days and modern years, especially early showmances, that puts a target on your back. So that put a target on her back. She put all her eggs in this Matt basket, and then Matt was out of the house, and then she was left without a play. She had Leah to an extent, but Leah now started to form these new relationships. She started to have these flirtmances with Cam, with Joseph, and with what's the other one? Quinn. I don't know why Quinn was the one that I couldn't think of, but she had these things with those three guys, right? So now she's spreading her wings and then develops something with Angela. So she has multiple different avenues and people that she branched out to after that. MJ stuck in this pocket. So MJ was behind the curve because during the time where she was canoodling with Matt, people were forming alliances, and she was not a part of those alliances, so she didn't know what was going on in the house. So she was put in a position where it's like she's gonna go on the block often. Hi, Palaver girl. She's gonna go on the block often, right? And the only way that she can keep herself in the house is by winning comps. So she was defaulted to have to win comps, AI comps, and veto comps in particular, because I think that she only has two HOHs. I think those last two HOHs that she had won, the one was it last week, and then the one the week before, I think that those were her only two HOHs. So everything else was basically to save herself and keep herself in the game. So now when we're at the end stages of the game, this is an underrated thing that people are not realizing, acknowledging, or talking about. When somebody feels isolated in the game, a smart Big Brother player is going to reel that person in and embrace them and be like, you are a team. And the credit for seeing this in MJ. Like, MJ is on MJ Island. So I have got to reel her in and give her a home and do it in a way that does not seem like I'm trying to game her or play her. Like, do it in such a way that she feels like this is my friend, you know, like I trust her and this is a person that I count on in the house. Chelsea was putting in that work to make MJ that person, that go-to person. She basically snatched her away from Leah because Leah kind of neglected her for a time for these other alliances that she formed. So Chelsea during that time, listen, it's game for her to win when she won HOH, when MJ won HOH, for Chelsea to be laying in her bed, for Chelsea to be advising her, for Chelsea to be implanting all these ideas in her head. Like, Chelsea was working her. So now when people are like, oh, Chelsea is only able to do this because she doesn't have the balls to make the big move to get Chelsea out. Well, who else does she actually trust in that house right now besides Chelsea? She does not trust Cam. She works with Cam. There was a time, I believe, when she kind of trusted Cam a little bit more, but Chelsea worked on throwing her some doubts in there about Cam. So she kind of halfway trusts Cam, and the trust she has in Cam is more off of the strength of Chelsea's relationship with Cam. But it's not like I personally have this big trust in Cam. Rabina, yeah, in the last week or so, they've been talking about all girls, final three, this, that, and the other. But the whole thing about it is the relationships and the trust that you have at the end of the Big Brother game is based on the beginning and the middle. You don't just develop trust in people just like that. You know, like somebody talks to me this week, they in the house or something, and then all of a sudden, oh, trust and faith in on day 80, very skeptical of that person, and I would be too. So it's not just that MJ is bad at the game because she's not getting out Chelsea. She's feeling like as soon as Chelsea is out of the game, I am next. That's her thought, because truthfully, it is that way. Because if she gets Chelsea out of the house, I mean, this is all in hindsight because this is not happening now, but in respect and hindsight. She gets Chelsea out of the house, she's the next target because she's the comp beast. So they're gonna go after her next and be like, we have numbers to take you out. So there was some strategy to her not targeting Chelsea. There was some reasons for her not targeting Chelsea. Her game is not to make sure that Chelsea doesn't win, it's to make sure she wins. And sometimes you actually do need the bigger target to be in front of you to make sure that you win. Now, here's the thing. When you get to Final 3, now you got to, yes, I would say definitely if I was MJ, I'd be gunning for that last win, as they all should be. And I will be gunning to make sure that Chelsea does not sit with me in a Final 2 chair, because then I'm going to lose. But in terms of keeping her there up to this point, there's multiple factors why that's happened. It's not because MJ is stupid, in my opinion. You can think whatever you want. You can think whatever you want. That was kind of crazy. Yeah, you could think whatever you want about that, but I don't think MJ is stupid. I think that it just shows her inexperience of the game, because Chelsea was lining up the game to be a certain way and to have certain people in there at this point, whereas people like MJ and Cam are doing this week to week thing because they don't, like, recruits constantly show us that they don't know that Big Brother is a long game. So it's not a game that you win. You just suddenly develop a strategy and win in the last minute. Even they keep talking about this scenario of like, oh, what if Cam or Rabina pulls off some lucky win at the end and takes one of us out? That's possible, but still gonna finish in second place. Yes, somebody could pull out a lucky win in the Final 3 when they haven't been winning. Unlikely, but possible, because I always consider all possibilities, but the jury's not going to vote for that. Yes, they'll take home the $75K. Suck for somebody who worked harder for it, but they're not going to win first place. Accurate analysis, recap. MJ, yeah, MJ was exactly. She was on her own. She was on MJ Island, and Chelsea was put her up and make her an asset, and that's what she did. So that's why that is now currently paying dividends for her. I go back to Big Brother 23. Sometimes people who like Big Brother 23, when X kept, it's like there will be a time when I'll need Big D, despite the fact that he's not winning any comps. There will be a time that I could use Big D to take out a target for me that I don't want to take out myself. And that person was Kylan, and that way after that. So Chelsea put in the work. Chelsea's been playing the game. MJ has been playing the game as well. MJ just knows the game to the level that she knows the game. She doesn't fully understand that she has to make moves to position herself, and jury votes and that kind of stuff. And she has said that. She's like, I don't really know how I would explain my game. And Chelsea was even gaming her then. Girl, she's like, Taylor didn't really know how to explain the game, but her game spoke for itself. What? When I saw this conversation that Chelsea said Monty articulated his game better than Taylor, but Taylor's game spoke for itself. You can only say that to a freaking recruit, because there's no way that you could have actually watched Taylor's season, listened to all those speeches that she made when she was on the block, and heard her freaking final speech and said that Monty articulated himself better than she did. The only thing that Monty was able to do was talk about game moves, like he had a strategy coming into that final speech. I won this much more than her. I was the one who influenced Turner to get out the biggest comp piece in the house, which is Michael, this and other, like a few game things. And he didn't even do that well. He speaks well in general, but no, she would only be able to say that to MJ because MJ doesn't know the game. MJ probably doesn't even know anything about Taylor or that season. Maybe she knows a little bit. Maybe she glanced at some clips or something, but not knowing the game, it's not stupid. It's not making you stupid. It's just like you're not versed on the game. And that's MJ. So I give credit to MJ for surviving this far when so many people wanted her out for so long. Everyone gave Angela credit for that, but this is somebody who's young, no offense, somebody who's athletic and a comp threat. And she made it all this way, being targeted this many times. So I salute her game. I say that she's played a good game with what she's working with and what she knows. We'll see what happens from here on out, but she gets a lot of unnecessary hate for no reason. I like MJ, as a matter of fact. Do I love her as a Big Brother player? She's not Cam. She's on the Cam scale. Cam is like somebody I really don't like as a Big Brother player. She's decent for a recruit because she's playing this game. I have to give her, as a recruit, if I'm grading her as a recruit, I would give her like an 8 out of 10 as a recruit, honestly. I'd give her like an 8 out of 10, maybe a 7. Maybe an 8's a little bit generous, but I'd give her like at least a 7 out of 10 as a recruit. She's far from the worst recruit that we've ever seen. Far from it. Monty blindsided himself. Monty blindsided himself by thinking that taking Taylor to that final was going to be an easy win for him. I was like, Monty, you just gave up $750,000. But all right, y'all. That's just my little speech on MJ. Let me know in the comments whether you agree, disagree. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm going to try to get on here later. We'll find something else to talk about. I already made enough posts about Chelsea, so I'm likely not going to really make anything more about Chelsea until Thursday comes and we see what happens on Thursday. Rabina, I don't feel the same way about Rabina, to be honest with you. Take Tucker out of the house and take that showmance out of the house. I know people are talking about her personal story and representation for her culture, but she's not giving me a lot outside of the Tucker showmance, so I can't really say the same about her. She's a nice person, it seems like. I like her as a person, but she doesn't give me anything. Yeah, I would be devastated, honestly, if like Rubina or Cam won. Like, to me, it has to be Chelsea or MJ. I want Chelsea to win. I would live if MJ won, because I would say MJ has worked hard enough and put in enough work to deserve a win, even though I think Chelsea has done the most to deserve the win. There's nothing that you can do when it comes to Final 3. It's a matter of who gets that W on that HOH is probably the most important thing. Talk to y'all later and have a great rest of your day.